we are going to continue our work today, and the topic following press briefing is the use by the political party of the volunteers and activists programs in their campaign. Our guests are Maria Burdun, acting head of NGO Union of Antiterror Veterans Board, and Denis Osmolovskyi, head of NGO Legal Aid 3222. Also, Natalia Tarasova is the leader of the Oves Foundation. Oves. You have the floor, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My name is Maria Burdun. I'm acting head of the NGO Union of the Antiterror Veterans. And today we are going to talk about the legal use of the volunteers' efforts by the political parties and political forces. Literally 2 months ago, within the premises of this specific center, the public organization of the Union of Antiterror Veterans presented their project to Ukrainian action, Feed the Soldier, or the Fighter. Specifically here, together with our partners and the like-minded persons, we told you about the actions which already was disseminated all over Ukraine. We mentioned how it worked, and that this action, Feed the Fighters, was spread in many cities, Kyiv, Ivano-Frankivsk, Dnipropetrovsk, Chernihiv, Chervonograd, and many others, just to mention a few cities which plan to join us. Today, there are 30 institutions which are operating. Yesterday, 2 more joined us, and in the pipeline, we have some more cities. We are just starting this effort. And incidentally, by incident, we found in internet a video material where representatives of the political parties using our infographics, our materials, this specifically bearing our logo, our regulations, rules, and the terms and conditions, they present it as their own political project, which, speaking in principle on the eve of the elections, is absolutely topical. And they are telling the story how good they are. What goodies they are, and just speaking in front of the camera, those activists actually use our logos and our magnets, so to say, their printed logo. Well, again, if they're talking about it to help our Ukrainian action, Feed the Soldiers, well, everybody is welcome. Any political party which would like to join us and provide the food products to the fighters at their own expense, no problem, you're welcome. But you can help us, but not to steal somebody's other, let's say, products. And this idea belongs 100% to the All Ukrainian Anti-Terror Veterans Union, NGO. I mean, the matter is that this organization, Antiterror Veterans Union or Association, is the political project of any political forces. This is our position of principle. In no way we are associated with any political force today, or any person which represents this or another political force or political party. And in this specific case, the use of our product, of our efforts, of our work by political parties without our consent to that is, as a minimum, dishonest, I would say. And we'll put it this way. So once again, I would like to emphasize that the public, or the NGO, the Union of Antiterror Veterans, has nothing to do with any of the existing or even non-existent political forces or political party or political figures. We are really public or NGO, which by itself does what we believe necessary and much needed for our anti-terrorist veterans without any other assistance, and maybe sometimes some useful, let's say, aid on the part of the political force. Once again, I would like to emphasize, we are no political project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Natalia Tarasova. I am the head of the project Dobrozhmenyamy. I am the mother of a volunteer, wife of a volunteer. My relatives are now serving in the ATO zone. I joined the project a month and a half ago because the topic and methods used by charity foundation Oves are very close to me, and that helps me use my internal resource to help the country. The project Dobrozhmenyamy has three components: medical, which is assistance in high quality individual prosthesis making for the servicemen of ATO; the social component, which involves all the groups of population irrespective of the social status, political, religious, inclinations, and also there is environmental component because we call upon waste management. For example, we use the plastic waste we give it to processing, and the money received from that we accumulate on the account of a foundation to help within the medical component. We hope that this project will be long-lasting. Ukraine, which has been involved into this project, small settlements and big cities joined this project, and we hope that this will be developing very successfully. There's nothing bad about it, but what we observe in August, we did not see that in August, but in August, during the elections in Chernihiv, they used our flyers. They look like that. They were used by Chernihiv Ukrop. We saw that on Facebook page. And the way they use it was the name title of the charity foundation was changed to Ukrop. And you see two persons here. They were separated. Our contact details were replaced by the contact details of Ukrop. Same way in Facebook you can see the video where the activist of Ukrop calls upon collecting the bottle caps, but basically they do not even mention us. They are doing it only as Ukrop. We have reporting which is very complicated. We were accumulating the plastic for 3 months and we received first kilograms of plastic on the 31st of July this year. We put together all the reports and we state that every kilogram, every bottle cap which was sent to us from any place in Ukraine or the one that was given to processor for the charity foundation Oves will be included into the report, and the money for that will be used only to make prostheses for ATO servicemen. Officially, we received from Dnipropetrovsk headquarters of Ukrop the information that they do not know about that. That's the work of activists who are not now the members of Ukrop, who do not cooperate with them. But this Data is still on the web page of Chernihiv Ukrop, and this video also gives a distorted information about the activity. It's getting distorted in many mass media. We cannot follow it. We cannot react to every episode. But now when I can talk about that, I can say the objective, collect the caps for the prosthesis for the servicemen. But they here say that they process the caps and make out of them prosthesis, which is just distorted piece of information. Also, another thing we see is the use by the organization Movement for Reforms of our activity. What is happening? First, they put boxes for collecting plastic, just like we were using the big bottles, plastic bottles. They're using the bottles same way. They put the logo of the Movement for Reforms, and there was information on the 10th that Movement for Reforms joins the national activity initiated by Oves, and they're helping to collect money for prosthesis. We officially addressed the central office of Movement for Reforms. We emphasize that we have nothing to do with any political movement, any political party. We say that we are not part of any force that participates in elections. So what was changed? The information letter, you cannot see it. They show it when people start asking something. It looks like that now. In many parts of the city, in Bershegivka, in Shevchenko Square, yesterday, in Korolenko Street, not in every tent, but practically in every other tent, there are the boxes which says that Movement for Reforms collects the caps for prosthesis for servicemen. I have a very big request. Any political force that participates in election process, we do not have any cooperation with any of the forces that participate in elections. I request everyone who gives caps into such tents, please request them to show the report about how they use it. I can show how we are doing it. That is how we do it in schools. We first weigh, then we make the photographs. That is school number 155. And that is how children were collecting that at the Festival of Scouts Play. That is what children from Akhmediyat give us. These are the photographs from schools. The schools that collect a lot, don't mix up. This objective of our organization. Don't mix it up with the way the political forces are using it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Very briefly, from legal point of view, I would like to inform you that on part of the political forces, we can see some kind of manipulation of information with the conscience of the electorate, of the voters. Why we characterize their activity using such terms? Because the phrases like, in the case of the NGO, Association of the Antiterror Veterans, if you just have a look at that, a political party supports and popularizes, and in this way the same story and the same holds for the charity foundation Oves. Using such terms, political parties, they understand that they just using the ready-made project of the NGOs and volunteers in order to prevent some kind of let's say they lodging the claim to the court or whatever else. They use such statement that they support the project. When we're talking about the fact of supporting the project, then we have different conditions. They have to directly approach the organization which is in charge of that action. They have to agree upon some kind of the terms, let's say the facilities, the premises, or whatever. Some kind of the support must be described, whether it is political activity or this is the kind of NGO related or the volunteer activities. Once again, emphasize that such terms actually reveals that the political party do understand what they are using. They are intentionally using such definitions in order to avoid some kind of lodge in some case or claim with the court. And this can be done because there are no direct norms in the legislation which would provide for some kind of criminal administrative responsibility for such actions. But there are some kind of other norms which are calling social and moral norms. And first of all, we emphasize that we have to cover those cases by the public organization, by the NGOs, or in the mass media, and using their own resources and report about such cases. We have some facts related to some volunteer organizations which just stated or mentioned that their interview was mentioned in the newspaper of some kind of public movement. I'm not going to give you the name. We invited them to be here today, but for some reasons they couldn't join us today. In this specific case, only the powerful information accent gave us the result when the political force wrote an officially apologized using their source for that. What we had from the Water Party, they prepared a special address which was sent to the office of the political party. No response whatsoever. And those promotional materials we printed today on the same references where you can find those 1 month later. In no way this political force respond to such a, I would say, the dirty or brutal fact. I myself am a member of the Antiterror Veterans Union organization. The head of this organization is now in the ATO zone, and their objective is to join the efforts in order to help the fighters. And if any political force believes that they have already to have the right to use some finished product, prepared by somebody else, in order to draw the attention of the voters and elevate their ratings, this is something inadmissible. And if we're talking about the political party Volia, Freedom, we prepared, let's say, the court suit against them to Gilsivsky court. We are going to demand them to somehow to cancel or, let's say, this information, and believe that there will be some response to that. Thank you. Esteemed colleagues, do you have any clarifications or questions to be put to our speaker? Sergey Malarchuk, UCMC. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for your work. Definitely, this is absolutely useful and timely project. So my question is as follows: do you plan somehow to protect yourselves in the future against some kind of similar provocations on the part of the, let's say, dishonest political parties, organizations, and maybe somehow to legally protect yourselves against using your logos. Actually, as it's being done in the in European practice, I would like to inform you, if they use the project itself, or the project proper, so its branding, for example, as a trademark is impossible in this case, because the very beginning of using that or launching the project, already we are talking about the title or the right of the organization who actually initiated that or started to use it the first, and they have this right to this title from the very day of using that. And the Antiterror Veterans Union, actually, we had some briefing and we informed the mass media, and we actually had this information on social networks. But if you're talking about the prevention, any kind of prevention tools, the using of those prevention tools is almost impossible in the legal field. We can only talk about the timely response or reaction to that, Any other questions or clarifications? Another short question from UCMC. Do you report about those facts or violation of this kind in the social networks? If so, I would like to ask you to give the information about your project, so anybody wishing to do that could follow up what's going on. We were talking about the violations. Actually, we are only at the beginning of the road. We are talking about our preparing our reports. Actually, we report about our activities on the Facebook page, and we are going to update our website. I believe by the end of this work, all the information about our activities over the last 3 months, and in the future will be given there as regards reporting about those actions which we have today. We did that by a separate post, and we are going to prepare an official statement. We try to follow the easier way and just approach the political forces, and since we do not have any response from them, we are going to put our official statements both on the Facebook page and the official sites FS Oves. Regarding the NGO Union Antiterror Veterans, definitely all our actions, including these not really legitimate actions on the part of any political forces, we do provide this information both in our social network Facebook page, swat.org, and in principle we provide this information on our own website, the same address, swat.org. Today and maybe tomorrow our site will bear the publication, will carry the publication where we are going to put the letter claim to the parties, and nobody unfortunately respond to that, and also we are going to put there all the materials in order to provide in more detail their own stance or own position that we are going to be involved in some kind of litigation or, let's say, court discussion or consideration of such cases. Thank you very much. If there are no more questions or clarification, this brings us to the end of our briefing. Thanks you again a lot, and I wish you every success in your endeavors. And